Hello, good morning, you guys. How are you all doing? I'm gonna do a live in a little bit. I am off for a whole lot of days. So I got some time. No school, no work. Just got to finish wrapping gifts. My gifts for my moderators came in yesterday. So going to the post office to get their stuff in the mail and all that good stuff. And I think I'm going to do a giveaway when I go live. How about that? Um, Yeah, I hope that you all are having a really good Christmas Eve. I plan to catch up with you all while I got some time off because y'all know coming the new year, I'm rocking and rolling again in school. And I'm doing a little bit more than part-time so I can go on and get my degree. Okay. And I'm excited. I'm just really excited about my degree. I was talking to the chief federal prosecutor yesterday. She was like, he was like, "We rooting for you, girl. We rooting for you." So I decided. I was like, I called my advisor. I was like, I think I want to do a little bit more than part time because I want to go on and just get these classes that they've added on out of the way. So that makes me real happy. Now I got some more stuff going on too. So it's going. I know that on the beginning of the new year, I'm going to be real busy, but I'm still going to be getting on here, and we're going to get more into going back to the beginning of like what I started with back in 2013, which was missing persons and cold cases, bringing awareness to domestic violence and all of those types of things, human trafficking. So we're going to kind of go back to that. And I've been talking to this group that helps young men that was captured and trafficked against their will at a very young age when they were minors, like around King's age. Okay. So I don't want to exploit them. I want those ones who, when they get ready to come onto my show to talk about it, because we know it happens to girls, but oftentimes men, they internalize stuff. They're embarrassed to talk about the trauma that they've gone through as it relates to sexual exploitation. Okay. Anyways, y'all, that's neither here nor there. I'm just letting you all know. And then I got another big thing coming up I'm gonna talk to you all about because I'm gonna need your help, okay? But anyways, I wanted to talk about what happened to Trayon Ingram in the Young Dogs case, okay? And we even when this situation happened with Young Dog, Trayon Ingram was not talked about a whole lot. We do know that he was indicted for um um, the murder of the young lady down in Covington, Miss Anita Wilson. Rest in peace to her. Let's talk about this right quick.
In Tennessee,
Let's
women
remember,
fighting for their lives after being shot multiple times, and police are working to find the gunman. Thanks for joining us for the News at 6. I'm Greg Hurst.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Skurlock. The shootings happened a couple of blocks from Covington's town square following a football game at Covington High School.
WRIG's Jessica Gertler reports the motive for the shootings is still unknown.
Right there in the middle of the street.
Lonnie Bryant says the barrage of gunfire about 25 yards from his front door shook him from his living room couch.
It sounded like a semi-automatic.
Hearing multiple rounds fire reminded this veteran of a Vietnam firefight.
Well, man, it sounded like it was in the front yard. But no, I'm ex-military, so it really didn't scare me.
Friday night, the intersection of West Church and South College, a couple blocks off Covington's town square, became a major crime scene when two women who just left the Covington Ripley football game became targets of two heavily armed suspects.
As they were heading north on College, there was a vehicle that was behind them that was weaving back and forth and apparently running up on them fairly closely.
Chief Larry Lindsay says when the victim's vehicle reached the intersection, the suspect's vehicle blocked the victim's car and things turned very violent.
Two subjects exited the vehicle and opened fire on the two victims' car and striking them multiple times.
Okay, so listening to this, it leads me to believe, they was trying to get their attention. They saw who it was. Okay, they saw that it was two ladies in the car. They waited until you heard them say they was waving, trying to get their attention, riding up on them closely. And then when they got to the intersection, they exited the car and let off rounds into the car. They saw that those were two women. So a lot of people thought that it was mistaken identity. No, it wasn't, from what I'm listening to.
Subjects exited the vehicle and opened fire on.
Chief Larry Lindsay says when the victim's vehicle reached the intersection,
Let's go
the
back.
suspect's vehicle blocked the victim.
There was a vehicle that was behind them that was weaving back and forth and apparently running up on them fairly closely.
Chief Larry Lindsay says when the victim's vehicle reached the intersection, the suspect's vehicle blocked.
The ladies may not have known. I don't know. But when they got out their car and exited their vehicle, they saw that that it was not any men.
The victim's car, and things turned very violent.
Two subjects exited the vehicle and opened fire on the two victims' car and striking them multiple times.
According to police, Dernisha Young was shot in her midsection and back. Anita Wilson was shot in her left shoulder. Both were taken to Regional 1 Health. Young's condition has improved while Wilson remains in critical condition. Chief Lindsay won't comment on whether the suspects, armed with what he called long rifles, knew the victims, but said the incident was not connected to the football game. Jessica Gertler, WREG, News Channel 3.
I mean, we've had the opportunity to see that, when these young men and Trula Mafia have beef, that they going after somebody's mama. I mean, we've heard that, right? So it's no doubt in my mind that they knew. Hold on. Okay. Now, they've been extremely quiet. They were extremely quiet about Trayon. Now, I do believe that Trayon. Let me see. I got something. I don't know what my phones are. If I can find my phone, I got something showing that he had I believe his trial was supposed to start this month. I can't find that particular phone, y'all. I should have had it next to me. I want to give y'all the right information because there's starting to be some traction on his case. Now, I think they started talking about him a little bit more, if I'm not mistaken, during the Hernandez-Govans case. I believe that Govan had wanted for Trayon to be a witness on his behalf. Isn't that what Govan said? He wanted for Trayon to come in and be a witness. Hold on, let me see. I can't find my phone. Okay, it's over here by me. I want to show you. I want to give y'all the exact date. Y'all, I can't find that phone for shit. That's my iPad. We'll get back to it later. I don't like looking for stuff. I could hear it, but I don't see it. So, anyways, I think that's what Govan said himself, that, or did he? I'm not sure, or some. I don't know where I hear that from. It may have been Govan's attorney or something, where they wanted for Trayon Ingram to come in and be a witness on his behalf. Or something, because he wasn't sure, or he said something about I don't know. Okay, I ain't gonna even talk about that because I can't remember. When I can't remember where I hear something from, I probably just don't need to say it. But anyways, it did not happen And I guess it would appear to me if Trayon was, it may have been beneficial, I guess, for them to call him in to be maybe a witness for Govan, because Govan maybe he says he don't know if Govan was involved or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, but it ended up not happening. I don't know if the prosecutors fought against it. I'm trying to remember where I hear that from. It was either Govan's attorneys when they were in court, or maybe Govan said in an interview. I'm not sure. But I think the prosecutors kind of fought against it or something like that, because he for some reason, I don't know, maybe Trayon's attorneys fought against it. The reason it didn't happen, I'm not real sure about that. But you know, what they never really did was they never talked about who the second person was, and I'm sure that was at the request of the police, because they said, remember when it first happened, they said the person that was with him was on the run. The second person was on the run. Now, they never said anything else about it. They never gave any descriptions of the person that was with Trayon. They never gave a name. And I'm pretty sure that, you know, with them being as quiet as they have about Trayon, that has been for a reason. Nothing has really been sensationalized about him, because I do believe he was supposed to have a trial this month or something like that. And hey, it's in my phone. Somebody sent me that, and maybe it has been moved again or something like that. But anyways, like I said, they've been very quiet about it, but nothing about the person that was with him. Nothing at all. Maybe that will come out in trial. You know, I've heard people say that allegedly that Miss Anita Wilson's son says that the person that was with Trayon is unalived. Okay, so leading them to believe, I believe, leading, you know, them to believe, and that's been on the blogs and stuff, you know, that leading them to believe that it was teasy. But you know, but then, you know, I heard in this, you know, I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard it was Straight Drop that was with him. I don't know. You know, I'm pretty sure that Trayon is not going to have an issue, or has not had an issue with saying who's with him, who was with him. Um, I don't think that they have protected his situation for nothing. You know, no news media really at all, no news media at all, other than speculations of the vlogs. It has not been sensationalized. They have not um released a whole lot. And we know that the Young Dolphs case has definitely been sensationalized, and everybody that was in it or may have been in it. Okay. Um, but the news media, since the first time, has not touched that case really, has not had any speculation about who the second person was that was in the vehicle. My guess is either they have the second person, or you're right, and maybe the second person is unalive, but it's no doubt in my mind that they knew about it from the beginning. I do believe Trayon would have told them who the second person was. So if it had been teasy, or and I don't believe that it was teasy. Me myself, it could have been. I don't believe it was him. I believe the second person is still alive. Okay. Maybe the second person is locked up. Maybe they over there at Orange Mountain or something. I don't know. Okay. But I don't really believe that the second person is unalived. Okay. I could be wrong. You know, the vlogs have hit on a lot of key stuff, but um I just think that if the second person was unalived, they would have, I don't know. It's just kind of weird the way that case has been really quiet. You haven't had any investigative journalists with the national medias trying to get to the bottom of who the person was that's allegedly on the run. That, when all of these people are in some kind of way connected to the young adult case, rather they directly or indirectly had something to do with it. But hey, that's interesting. I really hate that this happened. I know I say it all the time, and I get to thinking about all of the probabilities and the possibilities of what could happen to these young men that was out there just crashing out, just shooting people, taking money for hits and stuff like that. And you really never really just know who's talking. Okay. And I kind of believe it's one from the north, south, east, and west that's talking. Okay. And hey, when if people feel like that there's some disloyalty, they don't have no issues with dropping bombs. And I kind of think a whole heap of people probably have turned on straight drop. And they're forcing them they're probably going to force him in a corner. As I've always said, he just always kind of reminded me of his situation from the very start. And I've been saying this from the very beginning. Even when I saw that he was talking the first, early on before they got him that other lawyer. And then what he did was start trying to get Cornelius too. But early on, I felt like this could be an Apple type situation, and it may not be with straight drop. It may be with somebody, okay? Because Tennessee still has the DP, okay? So I don't wish that upon anybody. I just hate that these young men did this, and the old men that is behind it, that's spreading this money out. They old asses ain't gonna want to go sit up in death pen chamber because they paying for hits and stuff. But at this point, I kind of believe I'm not sure, but the spirit of God tells me that's who they're at. These money spreaders. And of course, it has been more than Gotti. If you all want to know that, it's been more than Gotti that's been spreading money for these hits. So I kind of think that's kind of what they're at, even so more so than these damn fools that was out there taking these hits. So, child, I'm just sipping my coffee, okay, and I ain't trying to. I hate to see these black men do this. Some of these black men be handsome. I ain't talking about Gotti. But some of them be handsome and they just get themselves tied up, and God has to get them back using these young men that are already misplaced and out there that's got that ain't got no guidance, emotionally unstable. But the Bible says that when I get them back, you're gonna witness it. Okay, God says when I get them back for what they did, you'll witness it. And so God is going to allow his people as we witness the heinous killing of a lot of these people that these folks have been behind. We'll witness the downfall. Okay. Those are the laws of the earth. God is not a liar. Okay. He says, I'm not a man, I'm not the son of man. Or he says, I'm not a man that I shall lie, nor the son of man where I have to repent. So it is impossible for him, or I don't like to call God a him, but it is impossible for God to lie. So prophecy has to come forward. Okay. And that is you reap what you sow. They've sown these seeds of discord and they messed around and killed the wrong man. And because God is faithful, he allowed the people to become very interested all over the world. In this case, it was not by chance. It doesn't have anything to do with money. You get a penny a view. Hell, I got a damn job. I mean, YouTube don't pay me nothing. My check be real little now because I don't be on here enough because I don't have the time because I'm in school, child. I was looking like Aquanisha when I was trying to get that for make sure I passed that philosophy class. So I was missing days because it's gone my hours and shit all the way on back down. I can't even put candy in my office no more. I'm gonna have to give me a husband or something to help me pay these bills. So listen, okay. So YouTube don't do nothing for me, especially when I'm contemplating having to get me a man to go ahead and take up the slack. I just have to go and keep my mouth closed and give me a man so he can pay these bills. Okay. So YouTube don't do nothing for me. Okay. So it was definitely God that did this. And I think that's why even when people were bullying, God allowed it to be exposure because they showed their hands when they was killing people like Jeremiah Taylor and all these people because they was being paid to do it. These folks talking about this, we want this to be quiet so it can go away. God wasn't gonna let it go away. But what they was jumping out on the internet, they was getting their IP addresses, tracing them and watching them and shit like that, and it was giving them clues on a whole lot of stuff. Okay, so they did this to themselves, but it had to happen. Okay, it had to happen. And so, but it'll be good for the people that was really affected in the end. I think about that, what Joseph said, it had to happen, but it was good for me. I love that scripture. When people come against you, they do evil, they think they're going to hurt you, and they left you for dead and thought you was dead. They thought that they would kill him and then his legacy would go away. And then the same thing happened to Joseph in the Bible. And when his brothers threw him because they was jealous of him, and he shared too soon with his own blood brothers because God had given him the gift of dreaming. Help me, somebody. And he shared his dreams and his gifts with his brothers, not knowing that his own blood brothers would be jealous of him. And when he told him he would be a king over a nation, his brothers became jealous because they knew he was a dreamer and God had shown it to him. They didn't realize that they was connected to their brother and they would be able to reap the benefits of being loyal and connected to their brothers with their brother being the king. Instead, they rather stay in poverty, and they killed his brother and he was sold into slavery and they thought he was dead. Okay. And when they found out he wasn't dead, there was a famine and they had to go to another land that their brother had already been over. They didn't even recognize their brother. Okay. And Joseph said it had to happen. When they started apologizing, when they realized that their brother was not dead and he was king because God keeps his word, years later. And when they started trying to apologize, he said it had to happen, but it was good for me. All the hell that he went through, thrown into the pit, sold into slavery, put into jail because Potiphar's wife lied on him because she wanted to have sex with him and he was loyal to his master. And so she went and she lied on him. He was thrown into jail. And from that, God raised him up. It had to happen, but it was good for me. So when they was killing Jeremiah Taylor, shooting up the mural, all of that, they didn't understand that they was leaving clues behind for the police. They didn't understand that because they stay in trouble, they had other people that knew about it and they want to get out of trouble. They was leading the police back to their scent and telling on them. It had to happen. I hate that these young men like Jeremiah lost their life. Young Dolph lost their life. But it'll be good for the people that come behind, okay? Because a lot of these folks, if they got any damn money, okay, they're going to be too scared to do anything, but a lot of them going to be left destitute because they're going to have to fight for their freedom. And it might not be for the young Dolph's case. See, people caught up on that. I'm not. Some of these people have probably been involved in other murders, people that we don't even know that they probably investigating, okay? So it may not be the young Dolph's case that they go down for. Help me, somebody, because I don't believe that, I think they're going after all things because every murder is against the law. Okay. Every murder. So Anyways. But anyways, back to Trayon Ingram. Y'all know I get carried away. I get to drinking my coffee and looking up at the blue sky and thanking God, and I get happy and get to talking, okay? But you know, I don't just talk for nothing. You know, I got the goods for real, and I ain't in the streets, okay? But I have to bring some inspiration to it because I do love Black men. I just hate the decisions that these Black men have made. You don't have to be street. Some of these Black men make street guys look pathetic because I've dated street guys and I love them more than probably anybody because they were methodical, they were smart. Um, I didn't necessarily like a lot of what they did to survive, but they showed one trying to kill nobody that was not a threat to their person or family. Okay, they had to get money. And taking down another man and bringing that bad karma to them, they stayed away from. Okay, they like to network. That's the reason why I know a lot of these men now that call themselves gangsters, they are emotional freaks and sissies. Okay. And they have ruined the young dudes. Okay. Anyway, y'all, I'm okay. I got to go. I got to finish wrapping gifts and stuff. I'm gonna come on live. How about that? I'll come on live once I finish wrapping some more gifts, and then I'm gonna do a giveaway. I got some wine that I want to give away. I'm gonna tell y'all what I did. I went and bought a lot of wine, okay, because I was like, I want to give away wine for the holidays, okay. That's what I did, and I'm good wine. I'm gonna have to get this wine up out my house because I had a bottle the night before and I had a bottle last night. I'm gonna mess around and become an alcoholic if I don't sit my ass down somewhere because it tastes good, okay, and it ain't cheap. So I ended up getting buying like $300 worth of wine so that I could for my moderators and so that I can give some away. How about that? Because I appreciate you all so much, right? Anyways, you guys, we're gonna do that. But I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, you could definitely support the channel via Cash App.